Hello, dear viewers. Namaskar. Welcome to Moksha Media. You are with Moksha Hiramat. Often and often we talk of Vedas, Upanishads, Shrutis, Smritis, Puranas, and etc. When we talk of these things, we come to know certain things which we don't know. It is generally said that Veda means knowledge. Wit and wisdom are the part and parcel of Vedas. Some people find that there are three Vedas. They are Rig Veda, Yajurveda, and Samaveda. And Atharva Veda is added last. That means in the beginning Atharva Veda was not there. But some people dispute it. In the beginning itself Atharva was there. It is there before Rig Veda. But anyhow, now it is concluded that there are four Vedas. They are Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. These Vedas contain 1 lakh sacred utterings, that is mantras in the form of slokas. 80,000 slokas are sacred utterances or mantras are concerned to the rituals, and 16,000 of them are in the praise of gods and goddesses. Remaining 4,000 are concerned to spirituality. These remaining 4,000 slokas or sacred utterances or mantras are the essentials of Vedas. But most of them do not give that much of notice to these 4,000s of sacred utterances. If we go through these 4,000 utterances, definitely we come to know the essentials of Veda in a particular way, in a spiritual way. Of course, these 4,000 sacred utterances are also called Vedantas or Upanishads. And these Upanishads are part and parcel of Vedas, and these Upanishads are in praise of spirituality, and they have got their own importance out of 1 lakh sacred utterances. Of course, these slokas or sacred utterances are not written. They are passed from mouth to mouth, ear to ear, from generation to generation. They may be composed in between 1500 BC and 1500 BC to 1000 BC, that is before Common Era. You see, then onwards, Veda Vyasa codified them and give a different names to different things. That means in the beginning They are common sacred utterances. As the time goes on and on, they have taken their own shape. And persons, munis or sages like Vedas gave them a shape, and then onwards they have taken a different path. But anyhow, these utterances are also called shrutis. As they are passed from year to year, they are called shrutis. But the common people can't understand shrutis properly. That is why they are shaped in the form of smrutis. And smrutis are for memory. Shrutis are for hearings and smrutis are for memory. There are 20 smrutis, and even people, common people, cannot understand these smrutis. That is why they are formed in the shape of stories. We have Ramayana and Mahabharata. Of course, there are 20 stories, that means smrutis, and Ramayana and Mahabharata are two of them, and other 18 stories are in the form of 18 Puranas. So, like this, we have Vedas, Upanishads, Shrutis, Smrutis, and Puranas. Of course, these forms have their own importance. They depend upon the mental level of the common people or mental level of a person who is studying, who is reading them. The persons at a high mental intellectuality understand smrutis properly and they can comment on it. But what about common people? Common people cannot understand. That is why they hear it, they read it in the form of stories like Ramayana and Mahabharata and Puranas. Of course, afterwards these Puranas are divided into so many things. But anyhow, Upanishads are the part and parcel of these Vedas. They are the essentials of Vedas. Some people say there are 200 Upanishads. But anyhow, most of them do not accept it. They say there are 108 Upanishads. Some people say there are 50 or 52. But anyhow, now it is concluded that there are 10 main Upanishads. Of course, whatever we have, we can see in these 10 Upanishads. And so many persons comment on these Upanishads. They have contributed so many things towards the enrichment of these Upanishads. And these Upanishads have got their own story, have got their own importance in the given context. So, it is better to understand Vedas and Upanishads in the given context. And when we try to apply them to the modern days, we should be very careful. Because whatever developments are there in the modern days may not be there in the olden days. The developments in the olden days are differed from the modern days. So, there is a confusion in applying them to these modern days. Spirituality is different. And if we try to apply everything what is there in the olden days to the modern days, definitely we will be in trouble. That means we can't reach our aims and objectives properly. Yes, spirituality is very important. That is, thinking of beyond human beings is very important. Going beyond human things and material things are very important. If we concentrate in the given context of those things, automatically we will roll round and round and round and there only, and we cannot come out of it. That is why we should be very careful in analyzing and applying these things to the modern days. But we cannot deny the human interest hidden in them. It is there for sake of humanity. It is there for sake of human beings. It is there for sake of human spiritual development, but not for other things. But what happens, most of us forget this human spiritual development, and instead of human spiritual development, we concentrate on the material aspect of the development, and automatically, when this material is interfered in the spiritual development, automatically it creates a problem. It may be a political, religious, social, economical, and etc. etc. So then we don't go near to the spiritual feelings and spiritual development of a man. In order to be a man, to come out of animality, we go towards spirituality. It is not this or that. So it is beyond the religious things. It is sometimes it is said religion of religions. But of course, it has got its own things, it has got its own limitations, it has got its own objectives, and etc. etc. But we should try to have them in the way or in the interest of human spiritual development. But what happens, often and often we forget the spiritual development. Instead of spiritual development, we concentrate on other developments and we fall ourselves into the ditch. Once we fall into the ditch, it is very difficult to come out of that ditch, and coming out of that ditch becomes itself is a goal afterwards. That should not be happened. In order to enlighten these things, we have to concentrate on the Upanishads. Upanishads have two parts, even though there are 4,000 sacred utterances. They are the essentials of Vedas. They are the essentials of olden day knowledge. And these 4,000 sacred utterances have two parts. That is, one is knowledge part and another one is ritualistic part. Ritualistic part is concerned to the practices of yajnas and beliefs, but knowledge part is concerned to the development of spirituality. See, here, instead of concentrating the first part of the Upanishads, if we concentrate on the second part of the Upanishads, definitely we will become a spiritually developed, highly evolved human beings. That means it doesn't mean denying the science and technology. Science and technology has its own limitations. It cannot make man a real human being. It is a supplementary to make man a human being. It cannot be denied, but it has its limitations. We have to understand those limitations. But what happens, without understanding those limitations, we go on and on in search of so many things which are useless in the real life. In the name of science, we do so many unscientific things. If we take into account the modern medicine, definitely we will come to know. If we take into account the technology developed the way, we will come to know how that science and technology has been developed in the interest of a few people. Is it? Here, of course, those few people have their own contributions towards the development of the society, but whatever is produced, whatever is the outcome of those developments should not belong to those few people, because those few people are the part and parcel of the large people. That is the mass. So of course that work is divided. In work division, so many things are happened. But anyhow, it is for the sake of the development of, for the sake of the shaping of the things, but not for the division of humanity. Is it? It is for the sake of the development of the inventions we have made, material inventions we have made, and whatever is invented, whatever is discovered should be belong to the society. But here what happens, after inventing, after discovering something, whatever is discovered, whatever is invented is belonged to a few people, a few class of people, a few class of society, and then it creates a problem. So, whatever is invented, whatever is discovered should be gone to the society. Whatever is taken from the society should be gone to the society. Is it? But that is not happened. When it is not happened, it creates a problem. So in this view, we have to see the Vedas, Vedantas or Upanishads. Vedantas are also called Upanishads. That is why it is better to concentrate on the Upanishadic part of Vedas in the olden days knowledge. And then only it is possible to understand Vedas in a proper, purely scientific and social development way. That is what we have to do. But instead of doing it, you look at it from the narrow sense of the society, definitely it creates commotion in the society and it divides human beings and the society, and it may lead to other disturbances also, which is not good for the development of the society. Especially nowadays, we should keep this thing in our mind, because whatever we have discovered, whatever we have invented, is the fruit of the people who worked in that field, and it is the fruit of the society who shaped them, who produced them. So, if we keep that concept in inventing and discovering the olden days knowledge, definitely that olden day knowledge would become a proper thing, would become a ripened fruit for the society, which can be consumed for the health of the common people, for the health of the humanity. So that is what we have to do nowadays. So, dear viewers, share and subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Namaskar.